Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the B-Side Podcast with your host, Rob Bobby Sellers. We got a great guest today, our Black Republican. You know who he is. Legendary Gary Combs, a.k.a. He's going to be called Richard Trixon today. He always got names to go for. But anyhow, hey, got a great show for you today. Tune in, subscribe, follow us, see what we're up to. It's the 100th day. Damn! Seemed like a year. Anyway, here we go. Yes. How y'all doing today? Let me adjust my screen over here. But we doing well over here in SoCal. My boy in Anna. I'm in Anaheim. My boy in Garden Grove.
Undisclosed location.
But yes, he's here, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. The Black Republican, Richard Trixon. What's up, G Diddy? What's happening, man? Thanks for coming into the show.
Hey, thank you for having me here. Doing good. Negotiating multi-million-dollar deals as always.
That's right.
I just came back from Milan, probably going to the Biscaynes or Seychelles Island or some island I can't pronounce. That's just how I do it.
Some islands you say you can't pronounce?
I can't pronounce it.
That's
I
right.
can't go unless I can't pronounce it.
Hey, that's a good thing, man, right? Don't buy things. Don't settle on things if you can't pronounce it. Make sure you go to. Hey, it's real easy. Just Google it. See what the meaning is, and they always say the right word properly, so you can go ahead and pronunciate it properly. But no issues with that. But anyhow, you know how we go into the show. We always seeing where our mind is for the past. Obviously, from week to week, so much going on. But we all here for you. But anything, we freeze now, but it's okay. It'll tighten up once when we download it. But GD, what's been your
What's been on my mind? Let's see. Uh, I don't know. It's probably this
focus on?
whole tariff war. Probably just think thoughts about this whole tariff war that's going on. They're talking about the port of Los Angeles being shut down in production by 35%. If we knew what it was like to experience the shortages during the COVID pandemic, there's going to be a return to that. And that's pretty crazy. I mean, when are we going to get to the point where we're going to go on a different course? I mean, if you see something's failing and you see something is wiping trillions off of the economy, when is the time to go in a different direction? And when they're saying that the port of Los Angeles is about to shut down 35%, then that's going to equal to empty shelves in grocery stores, and that's a major concern. I mean, I would think that with it being the first 100 days, you would like to show your effectiveness. I mean, he's gaining and gathering higher executive or greater executive powers, and I think it's time he has to right the ship to where we won't be suffering economically because there's no growth in suffering economically and taking yourself back production wise. So that's pretty much that. I was surprised that when I heard on the news that almost half of the production coming in being imported into the port of Los Angeles, the biggest port in the Western Hemisphere, is about to almost shut down by half. So that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading. I should say reading, but I was listening to some podcasts or whatever, and this one gentleman was talking about like May 18th or something like that, middle of May. That's when we're gonna see. I guess the last few ships are already over here as far as with goods and services. After that, nothing's coming. So we're gonna see it within the next 3 to 4 weeks. What happens as far as shelf wise? No question. No
Oh
question.
yeah,
No question. But
China's just waiting it out.
yeah. No question about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
my I guess my food for thought for the week is I mean, we'll discuss it, but it just seems like it's almost like, what are we going to do? And what I mean by that is just like, you know, how are we going to move or continue to move? I mean, we'll always be moving. I mean, if you ain't moving, you're dying. But it's like, are we really preparing ourselves um, for things to come? Meaning that, my whole thing is like, okay, did we learn anything from the pandemic? Meaning that, we there's no reports as far as if COVID is spreading. You don't hear anything as far as what variant it is. Usually, you get update on variants. You'll hear this with the news. You don't hear that anymore. And then also, like I said, it's like, are we even prepared if something uh, major happens, if something shifts? Meaning, if obviously, we were just talking about right now with the shortage of supplies, shortages of goods, shortages of goods. Are we prepared to handle that? You know, um, it's like we shouldn't have to um, wait until the tragedy is laid at our doorstep to react. It's like, what preventative measures are we taking? You don't hear anything too much of that. It's always all straight headlines, just tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. Okay, we can't walk and chew gum at the same time. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like it's almost like we're just on the defensive. Sometimes you got to be on the offensive. Seems like right now we're just in the defensive, waiting and seeing, just waiting, just waiting. So it's like, are we prepared? That's just my food for thought right now. It's like, are we prepared to handle what might be coming? Obviously, if we could predict the future, hey, everything will be better. But we can't. But the whole thing is like, just being ready, being ready. So we'll see, man. We'll see what it is. Well, let me get this down here. Well, it's on the table. You know, um, we're gonna just jump right in it because obviously, with my guy here, we always, jump in the political game of things. It's just like, my whole thing is, politics is everyday life, people interaction is politics. We've discussed this plenty times on the show. I'm sure we've had conversations on this. What do you think is the political scene now when today, April 29th, am I correct?
Uh huh.
April 29th today. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
100 days in office. 100 days. Always a measuring stick. New regime in. It's 100 days. What do you got to say about your fellow elephants?
Well, 100 days in, you know, there's been some mistakes made. There's been some setbacks, and maybe there's been some victories. I'm kind of slow on naming the victories, other than renegotiations with a few countries to, uh, you know, on the, regarding the tariffs, and maybe a slowdown in border crossings. But the whole narrative that this is a administration dead set on deporting everybody. They have slower deportation numbers than Biden, than uh, than Obama, and even lower than Bill Clinton. If you're talking about somebody who deported somebody, Bill Clinton deported 12 million people, and so far Trump has deported 100,000, a little over 100,000 people. But you know, what has been set back is the elimination of some of these government agencies, the slowdown in Social Security because of the elimination of jobs there, and it's making it less efficient. People are going from 15 days for waiting for their Social Security check to 30 to 45 days. And Doge, even though it saved $160 billion, it cost
Allegedly.
$133 billion. But it
Allegedly.
cost $133 billion. So, I mean, do we need a government office to eliminate wasteful spending in the government? I think so. But if you're just going in there to take an axe to every agency that helps people, that's critical to people, that's critical for people getting health care, that's critical for people getting their Social Security, which a lot of people live off of as their main income. I mean, if you're taking an axe to that, how are you making it more efficient? So, you know, Trump, to his credit, is somebody that's always actively moving with an agenda, but whether it be his credit or his detriment, it's hard to say what will be in another 100 days. So there's been some setbacks, definite setbacks in this first 100 days with, the port situation that I spoke of earlier. They said there's going to be a 35% slowdown in efficiency in Social Security and, among other things. I mean, I hope he moves in a different direction and wish him much success. But, you know, I know people, when they get in office, there's always a desire to rewrite the system. Sometimes you can't rewrite the system all at once. So I think it's I would say it's the boldest attempt by any president since Franklin Roosevelt to try to rewrite government, whether it be negative or whether it be positive. It's probably the boldest anybody's taken in steps to try to rewrite how the government operates. So it's been a crazy 100 days. We still got
Yeah.
3 more years.
Seems like it's been a year already. My whole thing is this, right? Heard a couple people analyze this. Um, I heard, okay, the GOP individually, I guess maybe different, put on a different front, but when they're in the group, what is, because people, if y'all don't know, Gary told us that you know uh, um, he gets bulletin board material, what to say every week. The newsletter comes out, the email goes out, situations come up. But my whole thing is this, right? Getting back to individual GOP members. Okay, say one thing when they're by themselves, one on one, I'm assuming, but when they get in a group, why is it, or speak on this? I'm not saying that you answer all the party conditions, but you are a member. Maybe you can give us some insight. What is with the cruel and unusual punishment? What's the deal with that?
Well, the thing is, this is a party led by, you know, Donald John Trump, and he's a person that seems to be kind of vindictive, if to say it lightly. He has a vindictive streak like President Nixon, and he'll form an enemies list. And if you're on the enemies list, he'll make your life a living hell. I mean, he went around and got all of these law firms that were, convicting him or going against him. He's making them pay up like a mob boss. So you don't want to be in his enemies list because he has the power of the presidency. Not only is he supposedly worth a couple of $1 billion, I don't know, but he has access to that. But you don't want the power of the presidency bearing down on your head. That's why Bill Maher gave up the way he did. I mean, he said that Trump was what he came from a gorilla, and Trump sued him for $1 million and stuff like that. So what is a guy with the power of the presidency going to do to you if he doesn't like you? That's what it comes to, and
How
with the people under him,
how can you be so petty when you're the president?
he
How
watches.
you can
They
be
said
so
he
petty
watches
about
TV
it?
for 9 hours a day.
It's just like it's just like any type of social safety nets that the government provides for its fellow so-called Americans. GOP ain't with that. Like, why would half them? There's elders in. The elephant party that needs Social Security, that needs drugs, that needs a little assistance to get by, right? To make it. So it's like any type of program they cut. Obviously, you know, Doge or whatever. I'm still tripping off of that because I thought Congress had to elect people like that or elected a department, just made up some shit. And one of the richest man in the world sabotaged the whole election, and all of a sudden he's going in making cuts. What's his audit background?
He's rich.
That's the, that's it, huh? They're just the reason why they voted for the con man because he's rich.
You remember?
Is it just to? I mean, we all know it's all about power, no question. So I want to know when all this cutting, all this cut back and um, withholding funds that Congress and has already agreed on that people get different departments, whatever case may be, getting a certain amount of money to help these programs. All of a sudden they're cutting back. Where's this money going? Where's it going? It obviously it's not sitting there. So what they doing with the money? What they doing with the money?
I don't know. They said even in regards to the Social Security, there's about 4 million people that's been designated as dead. So who knows what's going on? I mean, he's leaving the position at the end of the month. His public
Allegedly.
face is taking a well. They say he has an approval rate of 33%. His company is 75% down in profit. So I think you might see Elon flip on Trump in probably the next year or so. He's going to be working for the Democrats just to get his car sales back. But I don't know. I think it's uh, people have a thought that if you're rich, you must be brilliant. If you're making money, you must be brilliant. And that's the lure of Elon Musk. And with the Trump administration, you have administration of people that cut out the middlemen. For a lot of years, since the beginning of politics, politics was always ran by the men with money in the background. He just brought in the men with money and just put them into his administration. So he cut out the bullshit. We always want to say that we want to get these elegantly educated,
Allegedly.
uh, a moralistic. People always say they want to elect the elegantly educated, moralistic character that's done great his whole time, great his whole life. But you know, they want to elect the arrogant dude that wins because they don't care about arrogance or morality or whatever. They care about wins, and they think that's what he symbolizes. Because if anything, Donald Trump has been able to come back from the ashes more than probably any public figure in the past 50 years. This dude was down 600 million, got back up a billion. This dude was
And
convicted.
and and and, and how he get that money? How he get that money?
Oh, his dad loaned him a little bit of little small $400 million loan,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
small
And
four
I'm
hundred
sure he
million
lost.
dollar loan.
I'm sure he lost all of that. And then didn't some of them Russians help him out too? That's the reason why he in bed with them.
The Russians, I know what you're talking about. The Russians.
Hmm? Didn't they help him out on certain things, getting money, putting money in
I
his
don't
hands?
know.
Oh, you do know.
Impossible.
Don't stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You do know. You know.
Impossible. That man got it with his hard work and ingenuity, working 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. How dare you say
He's
he's
shifting.
colluding with Russians?
He's shifting people just like they normally do. These grifters.
How dare you say you you accuse our president of working for the Russians or working with the Russians? Putin's a
Yeah,
good man. He's never hurt anybody.
yeah. We gonna see as far as coming back to the deportations. Um, I wish Democrats, whenever they get in office, they stop uh, uh, their counter on the Republicans with the deportations and the tough on crime. It almost seems like a setup, right? Like Republicans figured out, like, hey, we keep bringing this up, tough on crime, deportations. They know that when the office switches, political parties, that the Democrats will go all out to prove to the Republicans, hey, we're tough on crime and we deported a lot too. It's like
Oh,
that's what they do. I
so
mean,
they're
it's
basically
evident.
like,
It's evident. Just what you just said earlier, right? That Clinton era, 12 million people deported, right?
mm-hmm,
Obama's numbers are high. Biden's numbers are
5 million,
high. Biden's
4 something
are high
million.
compared to the last Republican presidents, uh, uh, Trump. I mean the con man. Uh, uh, I mean the grifter. I mean the orange lieutenant. I mean, and then even go back to during that time, the Bush era, right? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, stop it. The numbers don't lie. Like my man, the locks. Like my man, Pinero from the locks. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So the Democrats got to stop that. It's like they're almost like aiding and abetting each other. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we say a point, we know the Democrats gonna go bananas to prove a point to us. Stop that, Democrats. Stop that. Be that donkey, be that jackass, and kick that motherfucker in his face. Meaning the elephants. Excuse my language, people. But hey, it never fails. Never fails. Whenever there's some type of issue, we got the fucking turncoats switching sides, like the Save Act. Like, how many Democrats jumped on that other side? Like, what is going on here? Stop it. You ain't got nothing to prove to them. Nothing to prove to the Republicans. Stop it. You do wrong, they're gonna talk about you. You do so-called good, they're gonna talk about you. So play your card that you're dealt with. Play your hand. Don't even tune them out. We already know what them cats is out. Just like you was talking about when the Doge tried to cut back spending, right? The Republicans are more, spending more, spending more right now. The government's spending more. While the orange man is out there playing golf. He's played more golf already. He's terrible at it. You know, stroke is terrible. Look at him. It's hard to get that belly, them little hands over the belly. It's hard with a club too. Stop it. Stop it. It's like Democrats have to be relentless, just like the Republicans.
But you
Got
know what the
to,
Democrats are?
and what's up?
You know what the Democrats are? They're like that.
I said,
They're
what's
like
up?
they're like a girlfriend that said, if a woman that has a dude that cheats on her or whatever, and then she goes out and cheats on him. She said, "I did that because you did it."
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
that's
gotta
basically
agree.
what you're telling me
I gotta
what the
agree.
Democrats do.
Yeah. Let's up the ante. Let's up the ante. Well, they say we're not tough on crime. Well, damn it, we're tough on crime. And the whole thing is the Democrats. It's like, wait a minute here, right? Wait a minute here. You are agreeing with their so-called agenda, and we know that whenever they say tough on crime, what are they talking about? Let's be tough on the blacks and Democrats. We're your number one supporters. How are you turning on us?
Well, they always do when it comes to that.
Always,
When it comes to
always,
immigration, when it comes to
always,
crime, I mean,
always.
I don't know why people think that there's a difference in between the way conservatives or liberals think when it comes to legislation
Oh, you
on
said it right.
crime and the
Yep.
way they govern people that are unrepresented. So
Like
I don't understand.
Like my man said, like Malcolm X said, we
Liberals
do
are
what
dangerous. Don't trust them.
the liberals are the foxes, the conservatives are the wolves. They're canines. They're canines. You know, I mean, we see it time and time again, man. It's just like, just Democrats so disrespectful to us, man. So disrespectful to the brothers and sisters, man. You know, still going after the boogeyman, uh, 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 white centrist. Sorry, that's the truth. Not even there. It's not even there. Thinking they're thinking maybe we'll get one or two Republicans to jump over. Nah. They stick together, regardless of any criticism, regardless any backlash. They're tongue in cheek, elbow to elbow, holding hands, making sure the front is strong. But it's it's crazy, and it's also just like okay, they've had all these marches and everything. Once again, if we're not in it, the noise is kind of on a simmer low. But time for everything, no doubt. We need some soldiers out there, yeah. But we ain't, you know what I mean? We ain't getting bashed up. Tired of that. We got to be a lot smoother. It's just like
Oh
this, right?
yeah.
I was just thinking the other I was just thinking the other day, right? You know, obviously we should never think that we have to go underground is over, right? You best believe that the Latino community has some underground network going on about them being deported, right? You know that. We have to do the same thing, people. If you, we got to pay attention, okay? Got to pay attention. And hey, if they bring up woke, anti-black, they're anti-black. We got to do the same things as Jews do. Same thing about them. You're anti-Semite. You're anti-Semitic. We got to do the same anti-black. Because think about it. Read a report. United States have already got an agreement with the Rwanda government for deportation. You see where I'm going here? See where I'm going? El Salvador, Latinos, that community, Central America, blacks, Rwanda. Got to pay
Oh
attention,
yeah.
fellas. Got to pay attention. So that's why, you know, the underground is crucial. We gonna have to start going underground on some things. You know, we got to stop. I think some things, okay, you might want to bring out, but we can't bring everything out because we know they're going to get it in there and remix it up. But we got to start attacking these cats the same way they attack us. If we hear anything that's woke, anti-black, you're anti-black, got to. You know, some things we can play off other races, understand, take the good with the bad, right? Some things, okay, that works. We got to use the same effect. How you feel about that, man? As far as you know, all this woke politics. How do we counter that? I just say straight up when they say woke, anti-black.
Well, I think it's funny because they weaponize the word woke, and a lot of the times does mean black or does mean something centered around women or homosexuals or something like that. But DEI also means veterans and other things that are defined by DEI. It's strange that we become the symbol of DEI when black people only benefit from DEI by like 4%.
4%.
So who are the
So,
real?
so
Yeah,
that's 2%
4%.
people do the math. That's 2% black males, 2% black females. 2%. Go ahead.
But as always, blacks get put out there as the representative for certain programs. Like they'll say blacks are the representatives for welfare when 42% of the people on welfare are not black.
Numbers,
So I think
numbers.
it's the thing. We got to stop thinking that we have to be the symbol of these things, that we have to be the face of these things. And we knew with the new with the new candidate coming in that things were going to be a whole lot different. So you got to strategize different, and that's all you
Exactly.
got to do. It's not that any of these policies are remaining that are going to be here forever. Anything in America can be changed if you organize and you put your candidates out there and you support them, and you don't just stay home when it comes time for election night. Because the people that complain the most right now probably stayed home at election night. And, you know, it's about your voice being heard and the concerns of your children after you. Because you got to not only make this world better for yourself, you got to make it better for your children that are here after you and the
Exactly.
generations that come after you.
Exactly. Because these
So
policies, people, it's just
putting
like
us in
we need.
reverse.
Yeah, we need to get back to civics 101. People, some of these policies take a long time to go in effect. I mean, right now, some of these policies that are being changed and correct gonna last 20 years plus when they get implemented. And like you said, Gary, that's gonna affect our future, meaning our children, grandkids, great grandkids. We're not even here, long gone, they're still gonna be affected by this. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
another point, all through the ringer. Today, look at the military. Who's running that? Look who's running the schools. Those is definitely WEIs. No question about it. No question.
Sure, it's not
So
DUI.
yeah, it's just like we gotta finesse our game better, man. You know, we gotta finesse the game better. We know better than this, man. And we gotta have sit in the sidelines. Damn near 90 million people didn't vote. Eligible voters didn't vote. Sat at home and look right now. Like you said, those probably ones who crying the most didn't do nothing. Didn't even vote. Didn't vote. What's the saying? Who barks the loudest? Them's the ones you got to worry about. Like, there's a pack of dogs at your door. You know what I mean? You got some hot water, you throw it out. Who's going to be barking the loudest? The front artist.
Oh yeah.
It, it kills me when people, I'm not into politics. We're interacting, that's politics. People interaction is politics. Come on. We cannot be sleep at the wheel, man. It's time, man. We haven't won anything. We are still at war, ladies and gentlemen. We 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 got no rights to kick it. Plain example is everybody been trailblazers before us. They did their part. What's our part? What's our part? Right? A lot of any generation, a lot of old heads, civil right organization cats who led the way. A lot of them starting to be our ancestors. So what are we doing? What are we doing? You know? Anything you want to follow up before we get to it? I'm sure we get back on the politics, but fresh on mind, these 100 days, it seems like it's been a year, you know, and it's just like it seems like we're just trying to get on a secluded island.
Well, it is a crazy territory that we're in as a country, and with this new administration. But like you said, what are we doing in this current generation to build on that foundation left by those who struggled through the civil rights movement? What are we doing besides enriching ourselves? Is it about self enrichment? Because if it's about that, then that's not true upliftment. What are we doing to uplift the situation of those of us that are disadvantaged? What are we doing to lift the disadvantaged out of poverty? That's what we got to be concerned with instead of the personal wealth that we can gain. I want personal wealth, anybody does, but we got to put something forward to help people because, even some of the biggest billionaires, pitched a couple of billion to help people, some out of the goodness of their heart, some out of just a tax write off, but still, if you have it, put it forward to help somebody because what might be something to you, like if somebody's a billionaire, spending 1,000 ain't anything to them, but a person that's disadvantaged and worrying about where the next meal is coming from, 1,000 would change their life. 1,000 would put a roof over their head for a couple of nights. So it's all about being conscious and helping people while you're here and
Mm-hmm.
improving the situation, not
Exactly.
trying to dismantle the system, improve the system.
Exactly. Because they're attacking everything, right? So we got to understand when when we're getting attacked, we got you. There's no choice but to turn inward. There's no choice. I mean, look what they're trying to rip away. I mean, who knows what they're gonna go after? Well, we know what they're gonna go back after next. I mean, yeah, some of y'all ain't ready for that, but they stripped everything from voting rights, housing rights, civil rights. They're going after all this. We see how they're going after the Fourth Amendment right now. They're trying to knock that down. Illegal searches and seizures. We see that going on right now. We see. I call them slave catchers. We see the slave catchers just snatching folks, taking them to a whole nother state where it's in the conservative red state, conservative areas. I still don't understand what are you conserving, but we have to start looking at the main number, right? The main number here, we're 14, allegedly 14 to 15 million, right? As far as the black African American, the black population is
15
concerned,
million.
15, right?
15 million.
15
Yeah.
million, right? We spend close to $2 trillion a year. We should not be living like this. Do the math. 15 million of us, we spending close to $2 trillion a year. A year.
Equal to the 16th largest country
15 in the
in the
world.
world.
In the world, people. And then I'm like what Dr. Horn says, right? We have to, like we always do, like we always have done in the past, we got to make this globally. Be in tune with each other on a global scale. It's a global world now. We have to care and pay attention to what happens in Caribbean, Central America, South America, definitely in the motherland. We're all over the place. We have to be in tune. Just like our enemies are in tune. They got class collaboration. We need class collaboration. We have to make the necessary changes. We have to change our mind, our thought process. We got to change it up. We have no choice. We've tried. We've tried. What do you do when you're not going? It's just like, okay, it's just like you at the basketball court, okay? You bring your ball, you got your gear, you're ready. And you never get picked up for a game. You never get picked up for a game. So what are you going to do? Just give up and quit, pout, force your way on the court? What are you going to do? There's other courts out here where you can get another game. You ain't going to sit there and take that. Have to change our thinking. We have to stay connected. It's part of it, right? It's part of it. Part of it. So we'll end with that. But I just wanted to get on the posture spectrum, even though it's 100 days. You know what I mean? 100 days is crazy, you know. But hey, we still here live and kicking. So you know how we do. We love sports. We're sports fanatic, right? You know, definitely. NFL had its draft. We seen everything. You know, are you happy with your picks?
Oh yeah, I'm happy with the picks. We have picked up a couple of running backs, the wide receiver, Jordan Hawkins and Jordan James, and Michael Givens from UGA. I think we picked up some nice picks that help out. You know, Bosa needs some help over there, so we're getting them some help, and we need help in the running back area. Because Christian McCaffrey, he's probably on his way out.
You think
He's
so?
past that prime point that running backs reach after the 30. I mean, he has a legendary career, but I don't know. I hope he gets past the injury bug. I'm hoping he can come back to full health and live up to a standard that he goes out there and performs at. But I think we had some good picks. You know, we're missing Trey Greenlaw, and we're missing a couple other pieces. With people going to other teams. So we're kind of almost in a rebuilding phase. I'm glad we signed Kittle. Kittle got a 4 year extension, $75 million, and they're going to prepare the Purdy extension.
Hmm.
So hopefully we can shape up to have a great year.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know we picked up an offensive tackle from the Cardinals. I forgot his name though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you on that. And obviously,
What you think about Shador?
Gary's a 49er fans out there. If he's naming off the names and sound familiar, he didn't, talk about the organization. He's a 49ers fan. Great tradition. Can't talk. Great tradition over there. In the Bay Area. But yeah, I wish once again with the finessing, right? Here's my thing with the Browns, right? Where is the narrative where they could have been like, now the draft is settled, right? Draft is settled. This is what narrative I would have done. I mean, obviously, hey, putting hairs here. If I was GM, I'll be GM, but I'm not. But however, sometimes it goes like I said with the finessing, with the play, right? My whole thing is this, right? All the mock drafts, right? A lot of the mock drafts had us taking Shador, right? And think about it, right? We made some moves, right? And we for a narrative like what we did was awesome. Shador at the two, but we made moves to get more players in that we needed to fill up some of the spots, and we still got him at 144. Genius work we did. I'd have been there with the Ric Flair attitude. Woo! Look what we did. We told everybody we was gonna get him at the number two. Major trades, made some movements, and we got him at 144. Fell right in our laps with 144. Shout out to the staff. Shout out to upper management. Man, if I was been to Haslam, oh man, me and my wife, because he's always shouting out his wife, we would have been there like, look at that move we did. Who would have thought? Even I was like, hey, genius, genius move. We got our number two pick at 144, and look at what we did. We did, we filled some holes. Like I said, we moved, moved down in the draft. Our first pick, we went from 2 to 5 and got Mason Graham out of Michigan, D lineman. They said it was a solid pick. Couldn't go wrong, solid. And that's another player to help out Miles Garrett. After he signed that enormous Omega deal. Shout out to my man. Shout out. I got to give him a shout out. He played himself right, and his whole staff. Sometimes you got to do it. He's still here. I was like worried, but hey, and we quick linebacker status always. Carson Schwessinger, UCLA. Then we got another running back, Buckeye. You know what I'm saying? Coming off a wonderful season where we won the championship. Keyshawn Judkins. These names, people. Come on. Anyway, running back because, love my man, but he's always he gets injured too much. So we got to be looking at the future. You know what I mean? Then we got another running back out of Tennessee, oh man, Dylan Sampson. Oh, lovely, lovely. Then let's talk about the quarterback room. Even though they say my man is little from Oregon, Dylan Gabriel, lefty quarterback, Oregon. Look at that. Look at that. Our quarterback room was going to be all right. You know what I mean? We brought back Flacco. We got Shador. We got Dylan. And I can't Pickett. Kenny Pickett is there. Good, good. You know what I mean? We're going to get something out of that. Got a great tight end from Ohio, Bowling Green. Harold Fannin Jr. Numbers unbelievable. Numbers unbelievable. And am I missing somebody? Did I say everybody who we got? Am I missing anybody? I got our first pick. Oh, I talked about it. Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger. We got Kinshawn Junkins, Harold Finnan Jr., Dylan Gabriel, Dylan Sampson, and Shador Sanders. So hey, I'm good with those picks, man. I'm good with those. You know, but I think we should have especially when they was that's been on the memes and everything. You know, as far as how the Brown staff was acting when they drafted Shador. They were like, "Come on, show
I don't
some
get
life,
this hatred
spin
of
it."
Shador.
Excuse me.
I don't get this hatred of Shador. I think it's really the disdain that they had for his father when he was playing. They don't like people performing at a high level and perform with confidence. They get insulted when some people perform with confidence. I mean, Shador came
Nick
from,
Chubb was the
what
better
was it,
quarterback
Jackson?
by far. Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes. Yes. They came from Jackson State, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. He came from Jackson State and came over to Colorado and did historic numbers. He has the best numbers out of any quarterback in Colorado history. So it's not like he went to some D1 school and did some okay numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He did
Mm-hmm.
superlative numbers. And for
Yep.
him to slide down the draft says more about how these teams operate in the boardroom than it says about him as a player. Because I think, he might get a chance to be second backup, a backup quarterback. He might get a chance to start even within the next year or so. But I
Yeah.
think, the talent is there. I think
I, I,
uh, and I don't think they want to have the narrative of Dion having both of his sons go out first round of the draft, because then you would have to reward a man for the work that he's done, even though you want to just write him off as arrogant.
no question. Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, looking back, hindsight, could situations been handled better? Of course. But this, you know what I mean? These are young men, man. They're allowed to make mistakes. You know, they're allowed to. And then coming from their pedigree, hey, that comes with the territory, right? You know, like I said, a lot of things could have been better, but hey, you learn from them. You know, definitely learn from the humble perspective. All right, anything in life, you're going to get humble. There's no way around it. You're going to get humble, and it's just how you handle it. All that matters, right? You know what I mean? I'm just so happy that those guys were a good family. Shout out to the Sanders family. Shout out to Dion and his um how can I don't want to say ladies in his life, but ex wife, whatever the case may be, the children's mothers. Okay, they did a great job. You don't hear them in trouble, anything like that. I like the I was appreciative of the fact that they were still excited. You weren't down pouting, like some of the other players who fall in the draft. Aaron Rodgers. But hey, they up there dancing. You seen uh uh I don't know the story. I don't know Dion and Pilar, but hey, they seem cool. You got to put differences aside for the kids, And they seem all excited. That's what you ask for. It's time to go to work. You know what I mean? Now it's time to, you know, I don't want to say you need to be worried about the doubters that are always going to be there, but now it's time to prove to yourself that you're worthy. You should always have that in your mind, regardless. But hey, it's okay to um, make the necessary adjustments to get in there, work hard, do what you're supposed to do, soak up the information, and work out the best situation for you. Because in actuality, it's a real small percentage of people even get drafted, let alone get on the NFL team. So he's already won again. He's won again. He's
Oh
he's won
yeah.
he's won he's won by coming here to this earth. He's won by having that lineage. He's won by performing at the high school level, performing at the college level. He's won, and now you're at the ultimate competitiveness, skill set, and sport football. So hey, I'm happy for everybody, man. All them kids that made it, man. You know what I mean? And all we can do is be there for them, support them, and lead them in the right direction, man. Yeah, yeah. What was your take so far on the NFL draft or whatnot?
Well, just like with the whole Shiloh controversy, I think maybe with the whole Shador controversy, I think it was just LinkedIn. He's a part of the first generation of these athletes that get to experience these NIL deals, that get to benefit from their fame in college or whatever. And I think that, has a lot of people jealous. Has a lot of people jealous that somebody's coming in as a millionaire already when there's always been like a hazing process to make somebody feel on the lower end of the equation. But if somebody's coming in there with the confidence and maybe even financial literacy,
Yeah,
that's a whole different sort of mind state. So
yeah,
I think it being the lineage that he comes from, Dion, I think there's a lot in the media or maybe even in boardrooms that didn't want to have the narrative of him having two sons that go in the first round of the draft, which I think both of them possess the talent to go first round in
yeah,
the draft. But it's it's greatness that they even got into the NFL, and that's an accomplishment in itself. And I believe
yeah,
once they get out in the field, they will prove themselves over and over again. So,
yeah,
he's at the Browns, and I think this is a good opportunity for the Browns to have a bright young quarterback on the team to showcase the ability that we all know that he has.
yeah.
And he's a Colorado Buffalo.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, allegedly, been a Buffalo fan since McCarthy was the coach, since Cordell Stewart, Jamel Holloway was back there, and then also, it's a slight little
Says
jab
Ray Caruth.
because, oh, maybe I shouldn't use those antics, but Colorado State is my alumni school, and Colorado's kind of like a rivalry, and any chance he tries to throw Colorado in my face, he does it. And what type of friend is that? But you know how it is, right? You know how it is, right? You know how it is, right? But yeah, it's a whole different beast now, man. Because these players got NIL money. Hey, got to make adjustments like anything else, man. So shout out to all those got drafted. I'm happy for you and your family. It's always exciting every year, no matter how we complain and go back and forth of what the NFL is not doing and what they're not. It's the NFL draft. Any draft is exciting because you get to see these young kids live their dreams and see their parents living their dreams through the kids too. That's real talk. That's
Hey,
real talk. That's real talk.
that's how a lot of those kids are pushed out there to become stars because the dad trying to relive that high school greatness that he had, and he
Yeah,
wants to instill it in the son.
yeah, it is. So about to make a. Let me get out of this. So we're going to make another pivot, ladies and gentlemen. See if this queued up right. We have some technical difficulties, but we're gonna get through it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta keep it moving. So This might be old, but it's still relevant. Come on. Okay. Yes. This episode of Knock It Off, when I'm able to share the screen here, this is what we see a lot of times that goes on um, between obviously male and female. Um, like I said, you might have seen this, but it's still relevant. Still relevant. Let me bring it up here. It's queuing up. Uh, you know, uh, make a long story short. I don't know why it's having troubles like you. Okay, here it is. Right. Like I said, IG model, gorgeous doll reveals T Grizzly flew her out to Detroit, but kicked her out of the hotel because she wouldn't give it up on the first night. Now, some of you guys were saying, "Hey, what's wrong with gorgeous doll doing these things?" Well, we all are consenting adults here, right? Am I right, Gary?
Oh yeah.
And not only if somebody, a male, flies a female out, puts her up in hotel room, whatever the case may be. I'm sure they go out having fun, whatever the case may be. Um, I think that's an automatic takedown. There shouldn't be any type of friction. There shouldn't even be um, any type of animosity or any type of mood changes, mood swings. Think about it. You could have just turned down the offer. But once when you agree, when I say meaning agree, if you took whatever, ladies, your requirements are, but if you took an upfront fee, then got on a plane, got put up, are the communication lines drawn? What what's your take on this, G?
Well, first of all, these days and times you're going to have to get post consent of what's going on, beforehand and stuff like that before she even flies out there. And if these people are flying these girls out on trips and stuff like that, taking about trips, they should expect a poke in the whiskers, a poke in the whiskers. So yeah,
I
that's
got
a
to write.
violation
I got to write that
if
down.
no poke in the whiskers is going on.
Hold on. A poke in the whiskers.
Yeah, cats have whiskers. So if they're flying out on trips and no poke in the whiskers are being gone on, they gotta pay for that flight and any other cost incurred on that trip. It's only fair. It's only fair.
Not being biased or anything like this. It's, like I said, you're a consenting adult. You know there's some underlining rules. Okay? Let's reverse it. Let's reverse it. If I was a gigolo, my client, not saying that she was a client to T Grizzly, but if I was gigolo and my client booked me room and board plus food plus some cash, I'm out there performing like I'm getting a Tony. Performing like I'm getting a Tony Award. Okay. A Tony Award, people, for you guys don't know what a Tony Award is, it's basically the top um, trophy for on stage presence. Broadway, all the other um, acting on stage, trophy for the best. Yes. I'm not saying in my mind, if I'm knowing the situation, regardless of the client, it might not be my type or whatever, but she's your type when she's putting money in your account. Meaning, you got the upfront fee, room, board, and uh, 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 probably a stipend for food. You got to get your energy up. Then, like I said, I'm performing like I won the Tony. I'm in soldier mind now. When I accepted, I was in the general mind. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, leaving on a flight, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got. Oh, I Uber picked up. Oh, I got a personal driver. Oh, okay, yeah. Personal driver. Boom, checked in the hotel. Got everything I requested. Up in there. My Hennessy and some cherry pie OG. Um, my Duchess. You know what I mean. Yeah, honey too. You know what I mean. Honey packets there. I'm performing like a Tony.
That's how you got to do it.
Got to do it, man. You can't opt out. You accepted payment. You accepted payment. You're a grown adult. There shouldn't be any issues. Okay? It's just like, now think about it. Think you should be honored. He had all those girls in the radius of where he's at. Probably cheaper. I mean, what's the going rate? 253. Somebody like 3, 2, and 3. That's the going rate. That's the market rate. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, that's the market rate. So how I don't know. I just threw the number out there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But we shouldn't be having these issues, man. And we shouldn't be having those issues. Come on. Like I said, if you wasn't interested, don't hop on a plane. Okay? Don't hop on a plane. Real simple. Anything you want to
That's
add on to
wasting
that, or
somebody's
you
time.
said your piece? Yeah.
Well, that's just wasting somebody's time. Like a person's
Yeah.
out there getting money, and if they're doing that, if they're being nice to you, and they are funding your trip and funding your dreams, then you know that deserves a poke in the whiskers.
Why
Like
not?
I said, but yeah, that's some bullshit. That's it.
What happened to my? Oh, that's not it. Here we go. So, Jeezy, what are your handles where people can contact you if need be?
Well, if they go to IG, it's gonna be Mr. Permafrost because I'm eternally cool. I
That's
don't
right.
even know why I'm so cool.
Uh-huh.
If they go to Twitter, it's gonna be Morris Midnight because I'm black and that's the old name for Morris. Uh, if you go on Facebook and you just look up coolest motherfucker that ever existed, I'll be there too. But I'll be listed under Gary Combs.
That's right. Hey, if you want to check us out, tune in, subscribe to us at the B-Side Podcast 3557. At the B-Side Podcast 3557 on YouTube. If you want to check us out on, okay, let me get to it. Man, how I'm going to forget all of these. But if you want to check us out, talking about the B-Side Podcast, if you want to check us out on IG, go to the B-Side Podcast Q, the B-Side Podcast Q on IG. If you want to check us out on X, go to the B-Side Podcast 2, the B-Side Podcast 2 without the T, on X. If you want to go to our website, all you got to do is go to the bsidepodcast.com, bsidepodcast.com, get us on the website. Also, if you want to check me out on IG, you can go to ARCells2 on IG, ARCells2 on IG. Check us out on You can check me out on X at Rob_B-Cells, Rob_B-Cells. If you want to check me out on Fanbase, you can go to AR Cells 2, AR Cells 2 on Fanbase. Subscribe, download it. And once again, I do have Sellers Foundation, where we give $2,500 scholarship to students enrolled at Wilberforce University. So check us out at sellersfoundation.com. You can also check us out on IG. See how the scholarship is going at the Dr. Lee Sellers Scholarship on IG at the Dr. Lee Sellers Scholarship. So hey, it's been a great show. Thanks for hanging in there, tuning in. We will definitely be back next week, no question. Sometime with Gary. We usually Tuesday, Thursday, switch it up. But definitely might have another show Thursday. Try to get some people in here. So hey, thanks for everything. Tune in, subscribe. Check us out. Peace.
So you're joining the DeSantis campaign, right?